Well, hi guys, welcome, and who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenfield 10, where I cover our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. If you're a Who Dat fan, subscribe to this channel. I talk about the Saints all the time. I'm a fan. So consider me a friend or a coworker who loves the Saints as much as you do. When you see me, you say, "Hey Joe, what do you think about them Saints?" That's what these videos are for, and you let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Today, we're going to be looking at college prospects at the wide receiver position. The 2026 draft is closer than we think. For us Saints fans who don't have an actual regular season to enjoy, I'll be doing videos like this periodically covering players that may be in the upcoming draft. We're going to take a look at some wide receivers today, and we're going to see if any of them fit the Saints. Well, I did a video about quarterbacks a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, and I showed you a big list, 33 of them. I'm going to continue to focus on all of these quarterbacks, and I'll do a video about them once a month. And that's going to be a big list of players because that's, I think, a position that deserves to be focused on right now and even throughout this regular season. Like I've said before, Rattler and Shuck, even if they have the time this season to show you something, it's still such a small sample size. You're not quite sure if either one of them can be your franchise quarterback. So I'm expecting the Saints to have a bad record. I'm expecting to have a high draft pick, and I'm expecting quarterback to be one of the main things we focus on. Whether we use that first round pick on a quarterback or something else, I don't know. This team could use everything. But periodically, I'll do a video about other positions. I'm not going to show you a big list of wide receivers. I may do that towards the end of the season. I'll more than likely certainly do that in the off season leading up to the draft. When the regular season's over and draft is really a focus for us Saints fans and everyone else. I'll get bigger dives into other positions at that time. But throughout this regular season, I'm going to show you some of the players that I like at different positions. And today is wide receiver. Now, you don't get a big list today, but I'm going to talk about 5 of them that I like so far through the early going in this college season. And we'll see if any of them are, worth a draft pick for the Saints. We'll talk about where they may go in the draft, and a lot of this will change. I'm not going to give you a big list of every position because by the end of the season, you may have 6 round projections that are first round projections, vice versa. Same thing applies with quarterback, but yeah, that's a totally different position. I'm handling that one different. So we may do another wide receiver video we may do another wide receiver video in upcoming weeks, as this college season goes on and certainly I'll do one focusing on the bigger, more prominent wide receivers, first round, second round projections. I'll definitely be focusing on that later on. Right now, I just want to talk about 5 that are lesser prominent right now. And do these guys fit the Saints? Well, this initial 5 that I'm going to show today in this video, you Saints fans might have an issue with because 3 of them aren't very big. And of course, if we're going to draft a wide receiver, we need a big guy because we have a bunch of small guys. But at the same time, if you get to a spot in the draft where you have your choice between some 5th round projected guy or some smaller wide receiver who plays like a 3rd round projection, you may then decide to go ahead and get the smaller guy. I mean, let's take, for example, the kid that's in Los Angeles right now. What's his name? Lad McConkey. Yeah, Lad McConkey's not the size that we want, but if that dude would have lasted long enough in the draft, I don't think any of us Saints fans would have complained about drafting Lad McConkey, because he seemed like he was going to be a really good player. despite his small stature. And, we need big players on this team at wide receiver. We really do. But I don't want to draft somebody just because they're big. So subscribe to this channel. We'll be talking about lots of players in the upcoming draft at multiple positions. But the five receivers I want to talk about today. The first one I'm going to mention is Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri. He's a senior. He's 5'11", 180 pounds. So I'm recording this video after 4 games have been played in college. So all of these players have had 4 games under their belt this year. Kevin Coleman Jr. has caught 27 passes so far for 278 yards. That's an average of 10.3 yards a catch, and he has 1 touchdown. So through 4 games, he's averaging about 7 catches a game for 70 yards. That's a lot of production to average through 4 games, 7 catches, 70 yards. He's 5'11", 180 pounds, and he's a senior. So I think if he stays that involved in the offense for Missouri, and he's averaging 7 catches a game throughout this season, yeah, that's that kind of production. You tend to look at the 5'11" and go, so what? This guy's going to catch that many passes, be that successful at it. So I've got my eye on Kevin Coleman out of Missouri. I'm an LSU fan, and the SEC's the thing right now. So uh, I'll have my chance to see him play all year long. And if he keeps this kind of production up, yeah, certainly you got to consider a guy like this in the draft, despite his size. All right, another wide receiver that's of a small stature, very small stature, but I think when I say his name, you Saints fans might not care that he's so small, and that's Aaron Anderson out of LSU, the junior who's only 5'8" and 180 pounds. Yeah, and a guy that small, you have to use him a certain way in the league. You worry about the wear and tear, whether he can even physically handle being in the league. But we all know Aaron Anderson when he gets it turned on, it's pretty impressive. And yeah, right now in the draft simulators, you can get Aaron Anderson in the 5th round, 6th round. So you're spending a 5th or 6th round pick on a potential playmaker like Aaron Anderson shows he can be from time to time. Yeah, that's a pretty decent deal. Right now, Aaron Anderson has 21 catches for 293 yards. He's averaging 14 yards a catch. So through 4 games, he's averaging about 5 catches a game. 5 catches for 70 yards, 75 yards. So that's decently involved. Um, there's times if they can get him involved in the game plan, then he can take a game over. But he is so short at 5'8", and what we need on this team at wide receiver is big bodies. We already have a bunch of smaller guys. But man, Aaron Anderson's a playmaker. He's not averaging 7 catches for 70 yards like Kevin Coleman, but he's averaging 5 for about 55, 60 yards. So 70 yards. So, of course, as an LSU fan, I'll be hoping Aaron Anderson gets involved in every game and hope the production continues for my Bengal Tigers. But, when it's all said and done, he's a really small guy. And the last guy that I'm going to mention out of these 5 today that is vertically challenged to a degree is KC Concepcion from Texas A&M. He's a junior, and he's 5'11", 190 pounds. So out of the 3 I've shown you so far, Concepcion's got the most weight on him. Technically the biggest out of the 3 I've shown you. But he's been really productive so far. 13 catches through 4 games is only an average of like 3 catches a game, but he has 227 yards through 4 games. So he's catching 3 balls, but he's averaging 55 yards on those 3 catches, averaging 17.5 yards a reception. So when the ball gets to him, he gets a lot of yards. He also has 3 touchdowns so far. And yeah, Aaron Anderson for LSU doesn't have any. Kevin Coleman only has 1. Concepcion, it's maybe averaging only 3 catches a game, but he has 3 touchdowns through 4 games. So 17.5 yards a catch. That's a lot. Concepcion just pops when you're watching the highlights. I mean, he makes a crucial first down and, manages to get a touchdown every now and then. So I like Concepcion. I've got him much like Aaron Anderson and Kevin Coleman, somewhere in that 4th round range, somewhere on day 3, possibly early on day 3. All right, I'm going to talk about 2 more guys today, and these guys do have the size we're looking for. The first one I'm going to talk about is Nick Harbor out of South Carolina. Nick Harbor's a junior. He is 6'5", 235 pounds. So we're talking about almost tight end size. Very tall. Now, I was looking at the stats for Nick Harbor, and he didn't have any stats in the second game South Carolina played. Don't know if he missed the game because of an injury or not, but through the 3 games he did register a stat. He had 10 catches for 210 yards and a touchdown. So if he was hurt 1 game, he's got 3 games under his belt. He's got 10 catches, so he's only averaging 3 catches a game, but he's averaging 21 yards a catch. He is a big play waiting to happen, and he's such a big dude that he can get physical in the middle of the field. So I've got my eye on Nick Harbor right now. He's floating around a late second round draft pick area type. If he can fall to the 3rd round, he's a steal kind of deal. But I want his production to go up this year just a little bit if I'm, contemplating spending a 2nd round pick on him. I love the size, and I love that he's averaging 21 yards a catch. So he can get down the field, he can make plays, break tackles and stuff like that. But I want to see his production go up. 10 catches through 4 games is not good enough. But yeah, I'm going to see a lot of South Carolina in the SEC this year. And the last player I'm mentioning, another guy from the SEC. Everyone I mentioned today is from the SEC. Is Ryan Wingo out of Texas. He's a sophomore. I don't think he's coming out. I think he's got some receivers ahead of him at Texas this year, and I'm not sure if he's going to get the volume that he would get if he went back, especially if Arch goes back. If Arch goes back as his quarterback and he goes back, yeah, they're going to be the duo to watch. So I'm thinking chances are Wingo doesn't come out, but I got my eye on him, and he is draft eligible. 6'2", 214 pounds. I like that. When you're 6'2" and you're 214, yeah, that's big, tough stuff. So through 4 games, Wingo has 13 catches for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. So yeah, he's averaging 4 catches a game, 14.6 yards a catch, and he's found the end zone 3 times so far. It's been said by Arch that he wants Wingo to get more involved. I think Arch considers Wingo his favorite target. And Texas has some other weapons. So we'll see. I think Arch and Wingo are a combination that it's going to get better and better through this year. And if they both return to college, it might be something special next year. So I'm watching Wingo. So there you go. That's the 5 guys I wanted to talk about. Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri, Aaron Anderson out of LSU, Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M. Those guys are small, but they are playmakers. And then Nick Harbor out of South Carolina and Ryan Wingo out of Texas. Two pretty big dudes who are making some plays right now. We need to see more production out of them, but they got the size. All right, that's my video for today. It's only 5 receivers. I promise you, toward the end of the regular season, I'll have another video about wide receivers, and we'll focus on some of the higher round guys, guys like the kid out of Arizona State. You got Cornell Tate out of Ohio State. You've got Antonio Williams out of Clemson. You've got Denzel Boston out of Washington. Ooh. So yeah, a lot of great talent to break down. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10 if you love the Saints. And if you want something else to think about besides how badly they are playing as of early on in the season, then I'm your channel. Subscribe because I am going to be doing a preview of the Saints versus the Bills later on today after the injury report comes out for Thursday. And you'll catch a review of that game if you're subscribed to my channel next week. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?